Hi, this is Matt Nelson, president of CGC Comics, and I'm here to talk about pressing. Pressing is a very valuable service that removes bends, dents, dirt, and anything else foreign to the comic without resorting to restoration. Pressing can potentially increase the grade of a comic book prior to certification. In this video, I'm going to show how to spot good pressing candidates, how CGC's pressing removes those defects, and ultimately how the books are going to grade in certification. The first step in identifying good pressing candidates involves good lighting. In this case, I have a common desk lamp that will help illuminate the defects that can be pressed out of the book. The first book we're going to examine is a Secret Wars number 8 featuring Spidey's black costume, a very popular issue with collectors. Now, one of the first tricks to identifying bends on a book is to use the light and place the book sideways under the light, particularly in the white areas in the back cover. The light shining down will illuminate the bends by creating a shadow effect. And by looking at the back cover, we'll see that the bends along the left edge back here will be removed with pressing, as well as this bend right here. We turn the book 90 degrees and notice another bend here in the corner that's luckily light enough to come out with pressing. And finally, along the spine, a number of spine ticks that can also be removed with pressing, and a bit of dirt that'll come out with dry cleaning as part of the process. Dealing with areas of color, typically the front cover, it's a little harder to find dents, so it's best to tilt the book in a raking light to create a mirror effect. And with this, you can see the bends a lot easier. And by looking at the Secret Wars this way, I can see a number of bends on the lower part of Spidey, a bend here in the bottom corner, and like the back cover, a number of stress lines. Right now, I give the book about an 8.5 grade prior to pressing. But the defects that won't come out with pressing are few. In this case, a couple of spine stress lines that break color, and I noticed a very small crease here in the bottom corner that breaks color as well. So given those two defects that won't come out with pressing, I feel like the book may achieve a 9.2 or even a 9.4 with pressing. So considering a 2 or 3 grade bump with pressing, this is definitely a good candidate. Okay, so for the next example, we're going to look at a book that's already holdered in a CGC case. Now, these are a little bit tougher to assess because you're looking through 2 layers of plastic, but some of the same rules apply. For the back cover, we're also going to tilt this under the light to create a shadow effect in the white areas. And just like the Secret Wars, this Hulk exhibits a number of bends along the left edge that are light enough to come out with pressing. A small crunch here in the top corner, and a number of spine stress lines that have created pretty significant bends, but can definitely come out with pressing. For the front, it's a little bit tougher because of the 2 layers of plastic and the color, but if you tilt the book just right in the light, you can get the raking light effect. And here, I don't really see too many bends in the front cover, but there are some stress lines that don't break color that will press out. Now, the question is, what defects remain that will not come out with pressing? In this case, the Hulk has a bit of creasing in the upper right corner that break color, and another crease in the bottom right corner that also breaks color, and a small tear on the back cover. These defects will not come out with pressing, so envisioning the book with those defects only and the other defects removed with pressing, I feel like this book could press to about an 8. And for our last example, I'm going to look at a copy of Startling 21 that exhibits a very large spine roll. Spine rolls are a specialty of CGC pressing, and oftentimes its removal can result in a dramatic increase in grade. In this case, you can see the spine roll in this book is pretty big. It's about 1 inch wide, but the rest of the book is beautiful, beautiful colors, very few defects otherwise. So I think removing the spine roll is actually going to cause a dramatic increase in grade. Now, to remove spine rolls, we also have to check the page quality, which is off-white to white, so it's supple enough to withstand the removal. And also the staple is secure to the spine as well. So I feel like this is a safe candidate for spine roll removal. Currently, I think the book is around a 4.0, but I think with pressing, this book can achieve a 6.0 or higher grade, a pretty big jump. The books are now back from pressing. Let's check out the results. The first book, the Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 8, I noticed that the bends on the front cover are now completely gone, as well as the stress lines. There is one that remains here that breaks color that will affect grade. On the back cover, the bends are also completely gone along the left edge and the bottom edge, and the spine stress lines and dirt have been removed from the spine as well. So this book has been completely maxed out with pressing, and we'll get it off to grading. Next up is the Hulk 181. Now this one was in a CGC holder, and after cracking it out, I noticed a lot more bends than I saw through the holder. But luckily the pressing has removed all of that, particularly a long bend here through the front middle cover. The stress lines on the front have also been minimized, and all that remain are a couple that break color that will affect grade. On the back cover, which also had a lot of bends, is now completely flat, particularly the bends along the left edge. A light crunch in the top left corner, and there's a bit of wear still left there, so that may affect grade as well. And the stress lines that were very prominent along the spine have now been flattened and the dirt removed. And finally is the Starling Comics number 21 that had that giant spine roll, and I think this one is going to make the most dramatic improvement from pressing. So you can see the spine roll is now completely gone. And all that remains is some missing paper along the bottom edge of the back cover, a tear at the staple, and some light creasing to the front cover. Now we'll get the books to CGC and see how the grades turn out. The first one, Secret Wars number 8, I had estimated to be an 8.5 before pressing and thought it might get a 9.2 or 9.4 with pressing, and the grade turned out to be a 9.2. And this is primarily due to the spine stress lines that break color. Next up is the Hulk 181 that was previously graded a CGC 7.0. This one had a lot of bends and spine stress lines that came out with pressing. I thought it might achieve an 8.0, and it actually got an 8.5. And the only thing left over was some wear to the top and bottom corners. And finally, we have the Starling 21, which had that huge spine roll that came out in pressing. I thought it might achieve around a 6.0, and in fact, it did. So clearly, pressing can help maximize the grade of your comic prior to certification. So make sure to consider pressing next time you're submitting to CGC. This is Matt Nelson. Thanks for watching.